Layering vocals is another one of those things that you really need to do to get the big professional pop sound. For the choruses, I've got the main lead vocal I mentioned, along with 2 more vocal takes, panned left and right, just to give a really wide sound, and they're panned fully left and right. Now these left and right vocals are slightly quieter than the lead if we go and look in the mixer. Here, we've got the lead here at -6, and these ones at -8 each. And they really fill it out. If we go to the chorus, just to show you that, yep, we're there. And if I mute the left and right ones, and add them in, you can hear how much it fills it out. You have to be very careful with multi-tracked vocals like this though, especially if they have T or S sounds, since they stick out like a sore thumb when they're out of time with each other and just end up sounding messy. Now it's good to vary this. I've not used this technique in the verses or the pre-chorus, so it makes more of an impact when it's used in the chorus, which should obviously be the big hard-hitting vocal section. That said, I don't think I've got a section with just one vocal. As you saw in the verses, I do have a double track going on there, which is exactly the same as the lead track, just a little bit quieter. Double tracking like this is a good technique just to thicken up a vocal. Having them at a similar level gives a much more thick and pronounced effect, more like a gang vocal. Now let's take a look at the harmonies. Firstly, dance pop songs are good at having harmonies everywhere, just subtly in the background just to thicken up a vocal. The choruses will usually be more prominent in terms of harmony, and as you can see, if we take a look, chorus harmony and chorus harmony high, I've got 2 separate ones. I've layered up some extra harmony in the final chorus, just to make it a big ending to the track. Now, this is another typical technique found in dance pop. Do some critical listening to some chart tunes, and the last chorus will generally, apart from the conventional ad-libs over the top, have another harmony line as well. And take a listen to the difference. So we've got it without the harmony, and then with it. Just makes it even thicker. Sometimes the chorus on the first time round doesn't have any harmonies, making the final choruses more impactful. Now the pre-verses, we haven't looked at them yet. Pre-choruses rather. Have a very subtle harmony here tucked away, so if we mute that and bring it in, and that just thickens it up a bit. Now you can be quite creative with the notes you use in the harmonies, though most pop music tends to either harmonise in thirds with the occasional minor bit. Take a listen to Britney Spears' If You Seek Amy for an example of how quick minor harmony can make for an awesome quick dark feel to an otherwise upbeat pop song, or use a single note for the majority of the harmony, particularly in the choruses, and this just adds a crapload of tension and prettiness to the vocal, making it really powerful. I decided to come up with a harmony on the chorus that focused around the semitone in the key. And I decided to do this after I'd done the vocal takes. This is when Neptune is really useful, because I completely changed the vocal. As you can see, I've hard tuned it, but if we add on the Neptune notes, now you can get away with a lot of weird sounding vocals if they're just being used as a subtle harmony, so don't worry too much if the performance settings make it sound a bit croaky. You won't hear it clearly behind the lead. Just to prove that, have a listen to the harmony just on its own, and I'll bring in the chorus lead as well. And it just fills it out and adds that gorgeous tension. Now the bridge harmony, if we unsolo everything, it's much the same as the chorus in this case, since I wanted to build it powerfully. I've introduced more harmonies the second time round. It's a similar kind of vocal. Got the left and the right padding it out there. And then second time round. It's got a subtle extra harmony in the second time round. And this makes it more interesting, but still memorable. Harmonies are great for that. And lastly, let's talk about stuttering and the hooks themselves. Now, dance pop uses repetition. I can't stress enough how much dance pop uses repetition. You see, it's really important to remember how much dance pop uses repetition. It makes things stick in your head. Stuttering is a relatively modern technique and has the convenient side effect of repeating a section of a vocal. So a dance pop hook, if it's meant to be catchy, will either repeat a melody line quite frequently or a whole vocal phrase. And I don't mean just throughout the song, but for instance, in the verses, we've got three separate things being repeated. We've got the p-p-people at the start, which is memorable, the y, which is repeated, and the not at the end has a heavy delay, allowing it to be repeated. I read somewhere that you have to say something 7 times before it sticks in your head, and I don't know how much truth there is in that, though I do trust everything the internet says, but by this logic, you should be able to remember the chorus if you have at least one repeated phrase in there. For instance, we've got the to me, and then right at the end we've got that just an illusion. Stuttering is also a good way to repeat something without it coming across as actually repetitive. Stuttering the take me in the intro here. Second time round, check it out. Has allowed it to become a 2-bar loop instead of just a 1-bar because the second one has a quick vocal stutter, making it a little bit less repetitive. And if we zoom in there, just to show you how you do the vocal cutting, just get your razor tool, change the snap value to something like 30 seconds, zoom right in, and just cut it. And you can delete it, or if we just take this back, another technique is Control-C, Control-V, just copy and paste it. If I solo that out with the Neptune so you can hear it. That's just a quick example of how you do that. Okay, and that's about it. Vocals are a huge aspect of pop music, and I've only scratched the surface with what I've said here, but I have covered a lot of the more important things to consider when making a big pop vocal. Different voices react differently to different techniques, so don't expect everything that works on Rachel's voice to work on yours or your vocalist's, and vice versa. If you think there's something here that doesn't quite suit Rachel's voice, try it on your track and it might sound really good. Vocals are really hard to generalize since they aren't usually as replicable as a synth sound. So join me tomorrow for day 6, where I'll discuss how I've arranged this track and how I've used effects to fill it out, as well as the notes I've used. See ya!